All right, guys, we are live. This is the Sherdog official recap of UFC Perth, UFC Reyes versus Ulberg, UFC Ulberg versus Reyes, brought to you by sherdog.com. I am your host. My name is Keith Shillan. To my right, I'm assuming he's on the right of everybody else at home if you're watching this. He is the great senior editor of sherdog.com, Mr. Ben Duffy. Ben, we had 12 fights we got to break down. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little tired. I was out all day. This card seemed like it was taking a really long time. I don't know if it was just me, but the action actually there wasn't a lot of boring fights. So I shouldn't be too upset. But it's hard to really get excited for unranked fighters. But the last two fights ended in spectacular fashion. Let's get right into it. But first, let me ask you, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Like you, it's been an interesting night of fights. We talked at length about this during the preview beforehand. Yeah, it wasn't boring. I'll say that. Some of the fights were exciting, not in the way you want, but we're all having a better night than Vanderlei Silva.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Poor guy. All right, let's get right into it. We got 12 fights. Shout out to all the people in the chat. We'll try to get to as many comments as possible. I'm going to guess this is probably going to be one of our quicker ones when you have the main event. And as quick it was, being that there's not many, other than Loma, was anybody else ranked on the card besides the main eventers? I know in the UFC rankings.
There might only be like 9 women's bantamweights in the UFC right now, so Montague might have been in the top 10 as soon as she walked into the cage. But,
maybe Carolina was. I don't know.
But the headliner was definitely the only fight with 2 ranked fighters. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, and then and I think for one, I know for sure the other ranked fighter was in the opener. Anyways, let's get right into the main event. Dominick Reyes, former title challenger, was trying to make his way back to the title, and was kind of pitted as a number one contender matchup. When you fight in the main event, in the division 1 week before the title goes on hand, that's usually kind of line yourself up for a minute. The only thing that kind of would trump that if you fought on the same card, you're on the main card, you're in the co-main event, or something like that of the pay-per-view. But Dominick Reyes is trying to make his way back, taking on like the new kid on the block in the division, the Carlos Ulberg, the fresh face, the guy who's on now a 9-fight winning streak, is Carlos Ulberg, won by first round TKO. Ben, you are much better with the stats than I am. Did Ulberg get hit?
Not that I saw. Like, we've been over many times how silly the definition of a significant strike is, but he didn't get hit with anything that would have ruined my night. And my standard for what would count as a significant strike from someone the size of Dominick Reyes is very, very generous.
Yeah, he might have got grazed. He might have got grazed by something, but this was a flawless victory. The fight was exactly, it was in his range. He was using his footwork just to get out. They talked about, the broadcast team talked about, both guys being very similar build, but it felt like, Ulberg was fighting in his range, that everything was where he wanted it. And then he started feinting. He was kind of forcing Reyes kind of sit back. He was very tentative. He's kind of pot shotting him a little bit, not a very slower pace, about 4 minutes in. And then finally he just caught the kill switch. Reyes finally committed to something. And he went down he went down like Vanderlei Silva went down tonight. It was not to that extent, but he was hurt. And then I think it took 1 or 2 more shots afterwards, and that's all they wrote for Dominick Reyes. This couldn't have been gone better for Carlos Ulberg.
No, not at all. And you mentioned it. It was the kill switch. And what it reminds me of, it's almost a mirror image, like one from the left, one from the right, would be Alex Pereira's finish of Jamal Hill, where he just kind of baited him in, hit him with the short hook, put him away. And it's like, as soon as it happened, you're like, oh, that's how long it took you to take this guy's measure. Because, there was no question with that finish. It was perfectly done by Ulberg. And the way they were setting out, you already kind of said it. I was worried that my prediction and I think your prediction too, of a knockout in kind of the earlier end of the fight was like, oh, Ulberg's going to fight careful, isn't he? And kind of Ankalaev of this thing, and he might get a knockout in the 4th round or something just from accumulation of damage, but he's not going to overextend himself. And instead, nope, super confident, super smooth, took Reyes' measure, started feinting, and sucked him right into just a killer right hand. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, the way he cut an angle was perfect. Shout out to my boy Josh Raymond. I remember way back in the day being sparring with him. He was a good he's a good MMA fighter, but he also did a lot of kickboxing, and he was talking about a different angle of a shot. We started working. I still remember working on this drill where we throw a couple punches, getting the guy to raise his hand, and all you do is dart off, keep all your weight to one side, and you get that angle. When they're hiding like this, you get these angles from the side. And that's exactly what he did. He just sidestepped. He was on a different angle than Reyes was, and he caught him clean, and that's all it took. With Reyes coming in, plus the force of in the perfect spot of Ulberg, I mean, it was thing of beauty. I thought that Reyes. I know it's easy for me to say this. Like, I get that. Like, it's easy for me to say, like, oh, he fought a stupid way. You need to go after him. You got to be in his face. You got to make things happen. Yeah, I get it. I'm not the one getting punched in the face by Ulberg. I get it.
Yeah.
But to me, that was really Reyes' only chance of victory. He needed this to be a brawl. He needed multiple car crashes and maybe lose a couple of the car crashes, but then land the big one. You know
what? I'm
good.
I completely agree with you, and it rolls me back to his fight with Yuri Prohaska, where it turned out badly for him, but at the end of it, it's like you did go into that fight the right way. If you were going to beat Prohaska, you did it the right way. You knew Prohaska could be drawn into a wild brawl. You did that. You had your moments in the 1st round. You got iced in the 2nd, but you went about it the right way. And I think the same thing might have served him here. Like, I completely agree with you.
We talked about like everything going right. Obviously, everything went right in the fight for Ulberg. He got the style of fight he wanted. He got the finish he wanted. He had his home crowd. Obviously, this is his first main event. All right, this is his first main event.
His first main event.
Yeah, his first main event in an arena. So, it wasn't a fight night card with 6 people cheering you and you get a knockout. He gets the whole town crowd to go, erupt for him. And he did it a week before the main event of a light heavyweight fight. He already said, I'm flying. He said the right things. I'm flying to Vegas. I mean, I'm sure it's in the moment. That sounds great. When he jumps out of a plane and he's going to fly, like, I think it's like 20 hours, 24 hours, something like that. It's going to suck, but he needs to be there. He needs to be there at the press conference, in the crowd, in the front row. Cause someone's going to ask him a question, Dominick Reyes, obviously Carlos Ulberg's next, and they got to have the camera on him. He's got to be in the front row of the fight night. It's not the fight night, but the night of the fight, I should say. Sorry, I'm really tired.
Yeah.
And be there, as soon as the guy wins, holding your hands out like, I'm next. Maybe you can try to get yourself in the cage. I don't know if that's really his style, but that's what he's got to do. What else should he do?
Yep. That's really it. Like, I think he should definitely go to Vegas. Like, that can only help him, but he made as big a statement as you possibly could. Like, this is a cliche, but his fist really did do the talking for him. To make much more noise than that would almost seem desperate and needy. Fans can smell that a mile away. Just like think of how much backlash Arman Sarukian is getting right now. Like, just don't even go that way. Just, you made your statement, show up in Vegas, clap politely for the winner. If they want to bring you in the cage, walk into the cage. He's the guy that's kind of cocky, but generally respectful. He's made a statement. He's done his part.
Taking the finances out of it, because I think if you're Ulberg and you want the biggest payday, well, Alex Pereira is the biggest payday. Take that out of it, because that's the easy answer. If you're the coach and you're like, your strategy is not, I don't want a war, I don't want to fight the best guy. I want who's the best chance of my guy becoming champion. Who would you rather fight? Alex Pereira or Magny Ankalaev?
For Ulberg,
Yeah. Who do you have a better chance of beating?
Honestly, I think he probably has a better chance of beating Ankalaev.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Ankalaev is the one that has an area of, and I think this gets exaggerated when it comes to Ankalaev, and I think it has more to do with the division, being that there's not many top wrestlers in the division, that he gets kind of categorized as the wrestler, and he's not that good of a wrestler. He's good. He's good,
and he doesn't wrestle very often.
No, he doesn't. He gets on top. He's got a good top game, but he's not a great wrestler. But he's the one, like, he could turn this into a wrestling match. He could clinch him, take him down, hold him down. The area that we've seen Ulberg struggle, but that was a long, long time ago. And he was never really on the ground for long, long periods of time. So, yeah, but that's why I could see the people who are like, no, Ulberg would be a tough matchup. But I'm thinking, well, he wants to keep it standing. He's going to do these feints. He's going to do all this. He's best chance of winning is landing a knockout blow. And yeah, of course. But who's also the more decorated kickboxer? Who's the one who hits harder? Who's the one that we've seen starch great kickboxers? The one kicking your legs out? That's Alex Pereira.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a better stylistic matchup for him.
And off the top of my head, and considering that there's a good chance we'll be previewing one or the other of these possibilities within the next 6 to 9 months, off the top of my head, I think both of those are pretty good matchups. I don't think either one of them is a blowout either way. But if I'm Ulberg's handlers and his coach, I am more nervous about probably 5 rounds of pure stand-up with Alex Pereira versus probably close to 5 rounds of pure stand-up with Ankalaev because of the power difference. Like, off the top of my head, Ulberg versus Ankalaev probably goes to decision. And so, I might favor him, I might not, but like it feels competitive. 5 rounds, pure standing with Alex Pereira, there's just too much chance he's going to get lamped.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. Alex C. He had a question and a comment. He said, who wins the rematch? Talking about Ankalaev and Pereira. For now, you'll find out who we think will win the rematch Monday morning, as both me and Ben will be breaking down that card tomorrow night, and it'll be posted very early Monday morning. But his second one was, if Alex wins next week, do we get? So he did have 2 questions. Do we get Alex versus Anthony? I don't think so. I don't think they hold up division. If there was someone who isn't a title challenger, like, there's somebody Alex is making his rounds like he started doing again, where he's facing the same guys again. Yeah, I think they might make that, especially depending how the fight was. It was an exciting fight, and obviously we're speculating here. But being that there is a new fresh face, got a popular area of the world, backing him, he's stylistically should be a really fun fight if Alex wins. Ankalaev is not a marketable guy. They didn't want to get him. I mean, there's a reason why they went right to the rematch with Petty. They want him to win the title. I don't think they do it. I mean, if we get an all-time banger, blood, guts, it wins fight of the end, then maybe they do the third match. But obviously, Alex has to win, and that's a big if.
It is a big if. Like, they're saying all the right things. They're showing all the right little behind the scenes sizzle reels. Like, it's for show if Teixeira is yelling at Pereira in English in the gym, but they're showing those things. But my question is going to be, how into this is Pereira at this point? He's already accomplished so much more in MMA than anybody would have expected. Like, he basically, I was going to say, he took himself from being one of the best kickboxers of his generation and weight range into one of the more remarkable martial artists of all time in the space of like 3 years with what he did in MMA. So
the only person that had a run like that, I can think of, I don't know how many years, but I'm just talking about age-wise, is John Jones.
Yeah.
And I think that was more about age than actual time entering the UFC.
Yeah. Like, in terms of time frame, it's more like what Brock Lesnar did.
Oh, yeah.
Just coming up out of nowhere and just immediately.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. So he's a guy like he's a UFC Hall of Famer in that sense of like a true this guy deserves to get in. I'm not gonna get on this, but anybody, you know how I feel about the UFC Hall of Fame. Everybody gets it. It's the WF Hall of Fame. Koku Beware's the WF Hall of Fame. He's a jobber. Anyways, but if you had a true UFC MMA, whatever you want to call it, Hall of Fame, where you had, I don't know, 100 beat reporters voting on it, you had a criteria, dude's getting in. You know what I mean? One of the questions they asked was, and I think it's an interesting question, is what do you think the odds would be? And again, depending on what happens next week, totally changes. Because, I mean, if Alex just starches, he high kicks Ankalaev, he walks him off with a left hook, then he's a much bigger favorite than if it's a low pace, slow pace, very similar to the last fight, but he gets a split decision win. The odds are a lot different.
Yeah.
But let's do it like this. He just had a flawless victory. Some shit happens. He can jump in. Now, again, travel, all that. It's not a perfect scenario. But say, hypothetically, it didn't happen in Australia. This happened in Chicago.
Yeah.
All right. What would the odds be right now? Give me the odds for both guys. And we'll start with the champion, Ankalaev, versus Ulberg, and then we'll do.
I mean, I actually threw out, somebody asked in the chat, and I said Ankalaev minus 180, Ulberg plus 140. And I was kind of going on the assumption that Ankalaev won again, kind of like he did in their first meeting. Like, it was a decision, It was competitive, but yeah, right guy probably won. Like, Ankalaev proved that, he's the better mixed martial arts light heavyweight.
So a good thing what we should do is we should try to remember what we say for this, and then a week from now, this time, or maybe a little bit later, but basically this time a week from now, let's come back to this and see if we're saying the same lines, or does it get closer, or does it get wider? Based on what they said. I'm
making a note in my notes so that
I gotta remember to bring it up. I gotta remember to bring it up next week. I mean, you know how I feel about betting lines. I'm terrible at these anyways, but I think it's about right. I think maybe Ankalaev would be around negative 200. I would probably give Pereira bigger, maybe like just because name value and everything. I'd probably put him at like negative 230 or something like that with the plus. I always mess up the plus negative. Like,
if Pereira won by knocking Ankalaev out or just like beating the shit out of him, it could go up from there.
Oh yeah, if it's a pillar to post absolute destruction, it looks like what we saw Fluffy Hernandez do recently. If it's one of those, he could be a negative 400 favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with Pereira. If Pereira puts on one of these, oh, that was just a bad night. This is the best guy, pound for pound best guy in the world. He's the scariest human walking. It's not out of the realm of possibility that we're not even talking about this. If Alex Pereira puts on a performance that we've seen him do before, like he did to Yuri Prohaska, like he did to other people, we might not be talking about Ulberg. We might be talking about Tom Aspinall.
Yeah. And I think it might have been Iman Report who threw out the idea that Pereira might move up after next week, win or lose. Yeah, it was Iman Report.
If he loses, I definitely feel that's more of a possibility. If you win, I mean, I think wins too. But it's funny. He's a guy that, and again, I mean, there's definitely a barrier to kind of getting to know the guy based on him not really speaking English.
Yeah.
He's very soft-spoken kind of guy. I don't think legacy is a big thing for him. I don't think that's his thing. Like, him going for a third title is not be like, I want to be known as the greatest ever. I think it's more of just like, okay, let's see, you want me to fight? Okay. Yeah. Like, I think it's like that. I'm a fighter. I'll fight that guy.
What we need him to do is just knock Ankalaev out of his sneakers, get on the mic and just say in perfect English, I want John Jones at heavyweight on the White House lawn next summer.
No shit.
And like John Jones.
Oh
John,
shit!
and John will immediately text Pereira. Okay, 30% of my purse to you, as we agreed, because that's the only way he's getting on that card.
Wow, honestly, that's a possibility. I'm not saying he's the call out, but that might. I mean,
I don't want to go down this road too far, but
well,
given what everyone said,
we're gonna
given what everyone said, if Jones is on that card, he's not the A side of his fight. Like they're going to put him against someone that can hold that thing up if Jones falls out.
Yeah, Jones is always the A side, but there's like, it's like when Mayweather fought Pacquiao. If Mayweather fell out, it's not as big a fight, but Pacquiao still carries a
but like that. Yeah, not that he's the only A side, but like he's not going to be expected to carry it. It's going to be someone like Lesnar or Pereira on the other side of that thing.
All right, I'm going to guess it's not Brock Lesnar.
Probably not. You know he won't.
My absolute prediction for the White House is going to be a big letdown. It's going to feel like by the main event of UFC 300, like UFC 300 delivered. It was awesome, but it was still like, really, that's what we're getting? Yeah. I think it's going to be one of those like, really? I think the card obviously would be stacked to be like 12 fights that everyone's a name. There's not going to be Jamie Malarkey getting thrown on the card. But I just have a feeling it's going to be more quantity than big name quality. That's just my guess. But anyways, what are we doing with Dominick Reyes? Let's say he doesn't. I know people ask, does he retire?
I don't think he retires.
He's had worse nights than this. I mean, no one retires. You have Vanderlei Silva fighting.
Vanderlei Silva got knocked out twice tonight. Like,
like what are we doing? What do you
he did just beat 3 roughly borderline top 15-ish people in a row. Like you can't take that away from him.
And I know, to interrupt you real quick, I know someone on the recap show, and I get this because I like to do this too sometimes, is someone was like, if you really dig into the record, it's not that good. And I always feel like once you really dig into anybody's record, you can find, like I used to do it with Fedor back in the day. Just be like,
sure,
Fedor's record is like so fake. And then if you really want to do that. Anyways, I just want to point that out there. Like, I understand what you're doing, and I like having fun with that. But
Fedor won 30 fights in a row. Show me his best 3 in a row, and then let's talk about his legacy. Like give me 3 wins in a row for him without like a middleweight or like a clown in somewhere in there. Anyway,
grabbing the ropes against Matt Lindland, and
if he wants to fight, I do think he deserves another person roughly in that range. So I'm keeping him in Contenderville. I'm giving him like Roundtree and Prohaska are about to fight. He's already fought Prohaska, obviously, but if Roundtree loses, give me Reyes and Roundtree. Or obviously a couple weeks after UFC 320, we got Mirzakhanov and Rakic. Actually either of those guys, if they lose, would be fine.
Just a side question.
Of course.
Is Brock going to be the of course. As long as he's on good terms with Dana, he's in. Just to answer that question for Antoine. I mean, but again, my answer is always everybody gets in, but and if you go strictly on merit, I probably don't put him in. I mean, I obviously know you won the UFC title and everything, but when you add in name value, what he brought to the UFC, if you want to add that part into it, then he gets in. I'm going to go with a guy that kind of feels like in the same range as Reyes and the similar how people view him, because even during this, like, I don't know, turnaround of Reyes' career, a lot of people like kind of nitpicking. People are like, oh, he's winning, but do we really believe in him? And that's Johnny Walker. He's in the same situation. Yeah.
I like that.
I'll put him and Johnny Walker, put it on, you know what? I could throw that at the White House. Like throw that on like a featured prelim or something like that. put those two guys. Johnny Walker wins and do something crazy on the White House lawn. And anyway, let's move on. Like I said, the prelims, we're going to go through these much quicker than usual. We're already a half hour in. Jimmy Crute took on Ivan Ersland. And actually, before I forget, Ben, how does it feel to be in first place in the fantasy MMA league with your last year's number one scorer, Carlos Ulberg, starting the season off right for you again? You picked him 2 years in a row, starting off with a knockout. A lot of points.
A knockout of who?
Dominick Reyes. Who
Dev's light heavyweight?
Yeah. I had to see. That's a lot of points for you, brother. You're way ahead.
Suck it, Tejada. I can see you in the chat. See, when you pick Norma Dumont first overall, you got to make up for that shit in the later rounds. That's what I do.
Jimmy Crute in the co-main event took on Ivan Ersland. Crute winning by first round. I apologize. First round submission. Jimmy Crute has a kind of little Dominick Reyes thing going where he was this hyped up prospect, had started off pretty well in the UFC, then lost. Everything went wrong. He actually did retire from the sport. Then they said he found his love, found Jesus. Very similar to Dominick Reyes, the same thing. And then started winning again. I'm not really believing it, but he dominated tonight. Here's my question for you. Did Crute look good or did Ersland look bad?
Ersland sucks. Like, okay, he doesn't suck, but
and you're the nice one. No, he does.
I'm the nice one, but he's yet to demonstrate that he's UFC level. And Crute, whatever else may be said about him, is a top 15 light heavyweight on talent. The only reason this Crute wasn't like minus 500 is that nobody's sure whether Crute wants to fight. Nobody's sure yet whether the Jesus that he has found is the Dominick Reyes Jesus that wants you to fight or the Rory McDonald Jesus that doesn't want you to fight. So now that we know that it's Camel Clutch Jesus, like Crute's back. He's back, baby. I had to add a finish method to the Sherdog Fight Finder database tonight. Sherdog Fight Finder database has been there for 30 years. It is the oldest, the most extensive, the most reliable in the entire business. Tens of thousands of fighters, hundreds of thousands of fights. I had to add a new victory method, reverse can opener, to the like.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. I think I helped with the Fight Finder for about 1 month, and the rules that you guys follow to make it the best is a lot. And I became like the guy who was entering like New England, my region.
Yeah.
I did it for a month and I'm like, F this.
Oh,
I'll give
brutal.
you, Jay. There's a whole bunch of other people. You guys are and then like, let's be honest, our personalities. That ain't me either. But you and Jay, and I don't want to name all of this. Other guys that help you that are fantastic. Mm-hmm. And obviously I believe it's the most reliable data. It's the average. Let's be honest. How did the other people get their stats in the beginning anyways? All right.
Stealing directly from us.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways. Yeah, I feel the same way. Like I think this says more about Ersland than Crute. Even in moments where Crute is destroying, or like he was getting a little beat up on the feet. It was really quickly, so I give it a pass. I'm not saying he looked terrible on the feet, but he was getting beat up a little bit on the feet. He got takedowns and he was dominating the ground, but there was like some exchanges where he was losing position where I feel like other guys would be able to get out. He got reversed at one point. He did hit a beautiful sweep, but again, like there's a reason why sweeps is so rare in MMA.
Mm-hmm.
Is because like that was a 1996 move, like really, maybe for 93 move like that. It doesn't really work. Like I can imagine him doing that even to like a Dominick Reyes right now.
No. But if we're being generous or taking the best possible interpretation, he came up with a good enough plan to beat Ivan Ersland. I agree with the people in the chat that are saying that he was not getting good results on the feet, but the story of this card seemed to be grapplers that are bad strikers versus strikers that have terrible takedown defense, and they just ran at each other until something broke one way or the other. I mean, that was the story of like half the fights on the card tonight.
Dude, I'm so happy you said that because I was just about to say, as bad as Erson looked on the ground tonight, he's maybe top 3 on the bench. Those guys worse. I got another. Then I want to go rant about someone later on. I might put this guy as the worst grappler in modern MMA in the UFC. But we'll get to that for a second. I don't even want to match Jimmy Crute at this point. Like, give him another guy in this range.
Yeah, just another 205er, preferably not ranked, or at least not in like the top 10 coming off a win.
Yeah, I mean, he has this thing where he's never lost in Australia, and that's cool. Maybe you make that a gimmick, turn it into like a extremely watered down Undertaker WWE WrestleMania thing. Like, get the countdown of how many people can. Yeah, and you know what you do every time Crute fights, find like the chubby black guy who was at WrestleMania who was like this when Brock Lesnar won. Like, fly that guy out to be in the front row just in case.
Hell, maybe he can become the Australian Gunnar Nelson. Just they dust him off like once a year when they go out that way. He beats some dude and goes back to working at the gym.
Speaking of weird like introverts, can we let's go through whatever. I watched the Bob Dylan movie last night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
have you seen it?
How was it? I haven't seen it. How was it?
Exactly how you expect a Bob Dylan movie to be like, and I was like, yeah, that was perfect. Like that's how it should be. Like I should feel like, oh, it had some really good highs, but then also like, really, that's how it's gonna end? Like, really? And I'm like, yeah, that's actually perfect.
like just not to get sidetracked, but how far did it go? Like his life?
It ended, which I didn't even know this, which is shame on me. So obviously we have the International Folk Festival right here in Newport, Rhode Island, which is, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes away from where I live. I didn't realize that was that big where Bob Dylan like headlined, and the big controversy when he played rock and roll.
Oh, so we went electric in like 1965? That's when it ended?
That's when it ended.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So like his biggest hit, like a Rolling Stone, was like,
yeah.
They kept playing him playing parts of that song, like he's like writing it, and then like finally at the end he like kind of sings like a huge portion of it.
Okay.
No, it was the actor. I don't know. The actor did a fantastic job. Like the mannerisms and the way he sang, and
Timothy Chalamet is great. He's been in everything in the last couple. I mean,
I don't know.
I've seen him in like 5 movies in the last 2 years that I guarantee you've never seen. Like I've seen him in like 5 movies in the last 2 years, and I guarantee you haven't seen any of them.
Okay, let's hear
the kind of shit you'd like. Give me movies. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie, the Dune science fiction movies.
Okay, I seen the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie. So there you go.
Okay, yeah, there you go. That was him.
Yeah, I saw it. I thought it was terrible, but. I love the old school like 1970s.
I didn't love that one either, but yeah.
Anyways, we got to keep going on. Jack Jenkins took on Roman Tavarz. Jenkins winning by unanimous decision. Before we get to it, Tavarz didn't think he had a bad showing, but he had a bad showing yesterday as he actually missed weight for this card. I mean, Jenkins. His striking is really fun.
Oh yeah,
just really fun. Just big, very kick. I think he'd be better if he threw his hands a little bit more. Like this one was. I mean, he's always heavy kicker. This was like even more. Like, I don't think he started throwing punches until like the second round. But his kicks are great.
His kicks are great, and again, I interpreted it as him knowing what kind of fighter Tavarz is. And just being like, this will help me win the striking exchanges without letting it turn into a Ramon Tavarz fight. Because there was really only one kind of fight where Tavarz had a chance of winning this. And that's a sloppy brawl in the phone booth where, I mean, Tavarz, who hits really hard and, obviously was plenty big for the weight class, could have caught Jenkins and hurt him. No.
Yeah. I don't think Tavarz looked too bad because I mean just to eat as many kicks and there was chances he would have went down. I think other guys would have went down with some of the shots he ate. But yeah, I agree. Like he needed to be a brawl. He tried, to his credit, he tried getting there. He just struggled with the movement. He couldn't catch up with Jenkins moving. And then anytime it got to that range, Jenkins was like just dropping it on takedowns, tricking him with these weird like darting in trips and stuff. So if he could clean up the ground game, particularly when he's on his back and add in small boxing, I think he could be, I don't want to say contender or anything like that in the division, but borderline top 15 guy.
Borderline top 15 guy sounds about right to me. I mean, he's already like 33, so it's not like he's washed, but he has another year or 3 to perform physically at around this level, unless he's turns out to be some kind of weird freak. But yeah, he's been a pleasant surprise. And always nice to see a guy that's fun to watch and wins most of his fights.
All right, so Bob Simpson's in the chat trolling. He never gets.
I mean, he made a point. Like, Jenkins did kind of call nutshot on something that did not turn out to be one, but on a night where I feel like there were 5 or 6 uncalled nutshots, is bringing balance to the force.
Are you saying referee did bad? Because that's the perfect transition to this next fight as Neil Magny took on Jake Matthews. This is what I want to do. I want to set aside the controversy for a second and talk about the actual fighting. I went from writing this down, Matthews never looked better, to, oh my God, he just got Neil Magny'd. And in the same line, I was writing it to remind myself, and then I went right into it. He just got Neil Magny. Yeah, just talk to me about this fight.
Really, not much to say about that. We have seen Magny do this. His thing has always been he's incredibly well-rounded, tough, intelligent, relentless, and just the ultimate jack of all trades. If you're a specialist and you're aggressive, you can catch him cold early, whether you're a ground fighter or a standing fighter. If not, buckle up, because he's going to come whoop your ass in round 3. Like, unless he is dead, like he's the embodiment of that cliche. They're going to have to kill me to get me out of there. Like, there's a little of that to Neil Magny, and that's what it was tonight. So, leaving the controversy aside, the quote unquote right guy won the fight. And fantastic for Neil. Like, yeah.
So I mean, it's the way he won is what thing that was most impressive me, because one round earlier he was getting destroyed, but not just he got destroyed. When you see guys come back and win third round, usually like the other guy gassed out, and now they're not getting the takedowns, and that guy's getting the tee off, or the guy's completely gassed. And I do think Matthews started to gas a little bit. But what was most impressive, and that's why I'm saying like only Neil Magny does, get absolutely destroyed on the ground. Where I mean, the guy was getting, triangled from the top position and almost straight on barred, and all these things are going on, guillotined and all this. To one round later, doing it back, dominating on the ground. I mean, obviously, there was a lot of it had to do with his clinch work, but to basically submit Matthews after he made you look like a white belt one round earlier is such a Neil Magny thing.
It really is. Just went at him and got him in his own wheelhouse. Impressive stuff. Like, I picked Matthews to win. I picked him to win kind of handily. I looked pretty smart for about 4 minutes and 58 seconds, but happy to be wrong on this one.
Anytime I start, you start saying, "Oh, Magny's washed," and I was kind of leaning. I'm like, "Oh man, he's showing really signs of being washed." He has moments like this, and I'm like, I still think his skill sets are fading. Even though today, like his jab was seeming a little crisper early in the fight, and his clinch game is still great, but his overall skill sets, his hand speed and everything, and his power is left. I'm like, oh man, that Magny's fading. I forget the one thing that hasn't faded on him is his mental toughness.
Nope.
And there's no, like that. If he has this like incredible self-belief. I I really don't push my son too hard in wrestling. I mean, he's only 10. I try not to. I really try not to with him because I've never want to be that parent who lives through their kids.
Sure.
Live the glory days, and I feel like I can through him because it's my sport. It's but lately I've been my daughter, man, you don't have to push her, she pushes herself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I try to talk some mental things. I'm like, we've talked about this before, like these guys, these athletes have this unbelievable like belief in themselves. I kind of talked about my daughter, like having this unbelievable belief in yourself when you're pitching, when you're hitting, whatever. Neil Magny has that. He has this, even when everything's going wrong, I'm going to find a way to win. And like actually believes it. And then he does it. So it's so impressive.
Yeah, it really is. And it's born of his successes as well as his failures. Like, what could you possibly do to him in the cage that has not been done to him already by someone better, faster, younger, more famous? Like, dude,
I think the only thing maybe would be get a submission win against him that turns into not a submission win.
That is definitely something new for like his little like checklist or his bucket list. Yeah.
He's got that one off now.
Yeah.
Yeah, continue what you're saying.
No, just that's all I really wanted to say was I agree. There's intelligence, there's mental toughness, because there's, and we've talked about this before, when we say a fighter quit or wilted, we're not saying that they just chickened out like they're some kind of coward. It's just they ran out of ideas. They're like, okay, between rounds, I know I'm beat. Like whatever it is that it takes to beat this guy, it's something I needed to know 3 months ago. I don't have anything else. He never even hits that. He's like, I'm not going to quit. And to the extent my body will obey me, my coaches and I know what I need to do out there. That is rare. And it's why, like, dude, he is shot. That's the thing. It's not that he isn't shot. Like physically, he is shot. He's toast. Like he looked like we lose in sight of how round one ended. Like Matthews was also quicker than Magny on the feet. And that's not a good look. Like Matthews is
range. When he got in his range.
Which 5 years ago he might not have been able to do it all. Like 5 years ago, Magny might have hit him with like 115 jabs.
To be able to flip it, to go from your worst round in the second round to obviously your best round of the third round, to
on a dime
is incredible. That's like movie like stuff where it's all over. And then Rocky looks in the crowd and sees Adrian, and all of a sudden he turns. You know what it feels like, Neil Magny? Okay, here we go. Here's my WF reference. Actually, I already done it already, but it's like the Hulk Hogan moment where he starts shaking his head, and he becomes like this superhero. That's Neil Magny. He's like, oh, it's third round. Okay, I start shaking my head now. I don't get hurt anymore, and I'm gonna come back and win. So Dev asks, is he the best third round fighter on the roster currently? He's in the conversation.
If you're measuring it as compared to how dangerous he is at any other point in the fight, he's definitely up there.
I guess what does that mean? Third round fighter, like, well, Merab doesn't get behind. But I don't think
Rob is killing you in the third round based on what he did in the first and second.
Yeah, that's what I mean by like I'd still be more scared fighting Merab in the third round. But I think Dev is more asking the question like getting beat up for 2 rounds to be able to turn around. Like that's different than the guy who's been building and gets stronger. Because like Josh Van's another one that kind of starts off slow and then by third round he's full sprint. Magny's the guy like he doesn't start sprinting into the third round.
No, honestly, a better comparison, even though they're as different as can be in basically every other way in terms of fighting, is Derek Lewis. Like, don't give me third round Derek Lewis.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
It reminds me.
He looks tired. He's been breathing with his mouth open since like minute 3 of the fight. I'm up 2 rounds to none. Oh, shit, I'm dead. Yeah.
It reminds me a little of where Brian Ortega, when he first kind of came on the scene,
won his first 8 fights in the UFC without winning a single round.
Yeah, he just kept like having to come from behind over and over and over again, or like some. I wonder who's gonna get this reference, but I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago, but like Tim Tebow in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter, that like run he had where they won like 8 games in a row, and it was like all the comebacks. Yeah, Neil Magny, what a gem. And the sad thing is Matthew's been calm for he was having his moment. All right, now this is where we have to we gotta get into it. Holy shit. No fight ever gets overturned. Like
this one's gonna get overturned.
You know, usually the only things I can think of when fights get overturned is a guy tests positive for a performance enhancing drugs.
Yeah.
Or sometimes for weed, but back in the day. But I don't know. This one's gonna get overturned. Like I won't believe when he says this, but all Matthews is going to need to say is the ref pulled me off him before the round was done. I had a fully locked in submission. I think he would have gone out for real. That's all he has to say. And here's the thing is, agreed. Like the likelihood of what was it, 1, maybe 2 seconds max left in the round, that he, the chance of him going out right then, unlikely, but it's not out of the realm of possibility.
No.
That's how quick guys go out in submissions.
Yeah. That's like, it was a horrible showing. Just the fact that he like tried to play it off, and then they roll back the replay.
That was terrible. Like he knew he fucked up, and I would have felt better if they stopped the fight then. He said, I screwed up. I know that fight shouldn't have been stopped. And they ruled a no contest right then.
Yep.
Like, all right, I'm not giving Matthews the win, but like, it's not fair. He did have a submission in place. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that's the reason why he lost later on. Still mad. We gave Magny his flowers. But so Ivan reports fact or fiction, fight gets changed, no contest. You're saying it does. I'm going to say it doesn't, just because fights just doesn't overturn, but it should.
And this one's in Australia.
Yeah, I don't know how they work out there. I don't know, but
I think just Matthews being from there is going to help him a little bit. Like it's not going to go away. Yeah, it shouldn't help him. It shouldn't help him because of that. But it doesn't matter if he was from freaking Uzbekistan, if he was from Jupiter, he's got an argument. Mm-hmm.
Or even that I was just about to let go and I was going to come down with an elbow and knock him out. Like you never know. I don't know. This is it just, and the referee, dude, you fuck up, you're a human being, you fuck up. Don't play it off like, oh no, I jumped in the round. Well, then why'd you jumped in 1 or 2 seconds early then?
Yeah. Especially when they run the replay and no, you totally put your hands on them before the horn, separated them and said he's out. Like
watching live from the angle of the ESPN, it looked like his arm went limp. I understand it. It looked like the old $1 million man having the sleeper hold and then it drops down, so it did look like he was out.
Mm-hmm.
And the replay later, I said, okay, I can see Magny kind of, it didn't look as bad from the angle I saw. Like his arm does drop down, but it almost looks like he's strategically moving it compared to it dropping like he's unconscious. But depending on what angle the referee's on, he could have seen what I saw from the other angle, and it looked like he fainted out. So
there is an accepted way for refs to not leave any doubt there. And most refs go over it in the rules meeting in the backstage. If I think you're out or I think you're going out, I'm going to grab your arm or hand. It's on you to pull back or otherwise let me know that you're still awake. That's all he had to do.
Which is Magny said he was showing him, but that's not true. Like Magny also lied to like, no, you did not put your thumb up saying like you might have done something.
I mean, he put his thumb up like twice in the like 10 or 15 seconds before then, but no, that last moment he did not.
No.
And I can see where the ref might have thought Magny was out or going out. But again,
how about this? What if you're Jake Matthews? You're starting to get choked, and you're like, oh shit, I got 10 seconds. He's got it in. Like he's grappled. He knows, like, all right, Magny's got it. I'm done.
dude,
In 10 seconds, I'm gonna have to tap. What if then he goes, oh, he fakes like he's out. The referee jumps in to pull Neil Magny off of him, and he pops his head up and goes, "What are you talking about?" No. What would the referee have done then? You could almost game the system now. Like,
yep.
Pretend. Oh fuck! I'm gonna pretend to go out for a second before I tap. The referee's gonna jump in, and then I'm just gonna pop him and go, "Dude, I didn't tap. I wasn't even out." Like, that's what Matthews should have did instead of tapping out. Again, easy for me to say that than sitting there getting choked.
Here's the other thing. If there's 1 second left in the fight and you think the guy's out, let him be out for another second.
That's true.
It's not like he's going to forget third grade based on an extra second.
Yeah, he's not going to die. Yeah. 1 second left when the guy's getting punched is different than getting choked.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. Regardless, Magny got a really good win. What are you doing with him next?
With Magny?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I'm me and you're you. So I'm not going to feed him to the next Michael Moraleses of the world, even if I think he might beat some of them because he's Neil Magny. Like, I'm keeping him away from the Kobe Smiths of the world. If he wants to fight a couple more fights, give him guys in his same general range. Veterans that are coming off a win or two. Give him Chris Curtis. Give him Nicholas Dalby. Give him Gunnar Nelson that we just talked about. Those are the three names I put down. Guys in his same general range that'll give us a fun fight. Oh no, what are you doing? You're literally giving him the Kobe Smith, aren't you?
No. I'm giving him a name that needs a bounce back. I'm putting him against Joaquin Buckley.
You know what? And so that's why I'm taking the upset here, Keith. I'm going with Magny by third round TKO on Buckley after going through hell in the first couple rounds, but we know that's what's here. I'm recording our preview for that fight right now. Like, yeah, I don't mind that one. And I actually think of Buckley as not being too far from that range of people I just mentioned. Like,
yeah. I know Buckley. What does Buckley say? Your mama. What does he say his mama does? He says, "Oh, what does he say? Your mama."
I don't remember.
Your mama raised a hoe or some shit. Like, you're a hoe or some shit. I don't know. I forget what he says, but he probably say something about Magny's mom, and then Magny comes back and wins in the third.
Oh, lots of people calling for Magny versus Sam Patterson. I actually don't hate that one. At least Patterson won't shave years off his life, even if he beats him.
Speaking of a come from behind win, not as dramatic, but Tom Nolan was in trouble early in his fight against Charlie Campbell and came back at a first round sub. Short fight, and it was like about 4 minutes long. It was a hell of a 4 minutes, though.
It certainly was. That was a wild one, and it left me feeling about like I did about both of them before. Like, they're both exciting guys. They're both talented guys. They're both offensively potent. They are both raw enough that it's just way too early to say in a division like lightweight.
Yeah. To me, I feel like I believe in Nolan a little bit more now because he just showed like true grit to me. To be hurt, to come back, find a way to win. I mean, I don't think he was like hurt where he, like Dominick Reyes at that point, but he was dropped and things was going wrong. I was watching live. My wife was still downstairs watching me, and I swear I saw the spinning back kick to the stomach, and I go, "Oh, he's hurt." And I said to my wife, I'm like, he's swinging for the fence right now to disguise how hurt he is. Talking about Campbell, and then shortly after, when he got taken down, I think he got taken down, and when he got taken down, he took that like, okay, let me catch my breath for a second moment, like, all right, and he shouldn't have, and while he did that, no one was on his back, and he was like, oh shit,
Fast. That's
impressive. So that like little delay he had, he's won 4 in a row now, Nolan. He's young. I think he's like 24, 25.
24.
24, 4 in a row. I mean, are you believing him?
I am believing in him. Yeah. In fact, I throw him into the same category as two people I compared him to on in the text preview for this card. I compared him to Joel Alvarez and Ignacio Bahamondes, just these giant young lightweights. And like, I believe in them. I just don't know whether it's at 155 or 170 yet.
Yeah.
At 155, as he moves up the ladder, for a guy that likes to strike as much as he does and kind of needs to work off that, even if he's going to get a finish on the ground like he did tonight, the speed of lightweights further up the ladder, I think, is going to continue to be a problem for him. There's plenty more Nicholas Mota types out there as you go up the ladder.
Speaking of going up the ladder, Navo Sterling remained unbeaten as he took out Rodolfo Bellator, winning by unanimous decision. To me, that just stood out was like the hand speed difference. There was so much more snap on his punches than Bellator, a little more output on his side. I still feel the same way about Sterling as I did before this fight. He's a question mark to me. Do you believe in him? I mean, are you pro? I'll put you on the spot. Either you're pro him and anti him. Where are you?
I'll say this much. I do not envision him getting anywhere close to even where Ulberg is right now.
Yeah. To me, he fights down to his point. He was so much more skilled than Bellator and clearly won, obviously. I think he won all 3 rounds. But there was times I'm watching a guy, I'm like, this guy's so much more talented. Why is this a close fight? Why is there close rounds right now?
And Antoine Willis asked the question that we're all kind of dancing around here. Does he actually have potential? He's super young. Here's the thing. There are some young fighters, even on winning streaks, where you're like, okay, this guy has remarkable elite tools. He just has things he needs to work on before he gets to the top 15, top 10, before we can consider him a future contender. In the case of Sterling, it's not really that. It's that I'm not sure how great he even is right now. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm giving him a step up in competition, but still like a winnable fight for him next. Like, I'm giving him Alonzo Menifield.
Oh, that's a name that I actually considered. I'd be fine with that. The name I put down was Dustin Jacoby, who's been at higher heights, but has lost quite a bit recently, or before the fight happened.
A little more technical than, yeah.
And, before that, I kind of said, one of the halves of the Crute versus Erslan fight would be in the right kind of neighborhood. But after that fight, I'm not really interested in seeing him fight either guy.
No, I mean, Erslan's losing easily to him, but yeah, let's move on. So, sorry. You want to keep going, or you want to take a break? You want to do know your host? You want to cue a couple more fights?
I'm with. Let's punch out a couple more fights.
All right. Speaking of punched out, Andre Petrowski got punched out by Cam Rouston, who made his UFC debut, going against a pretty big name in a UFC debut, and he passed that test perfectly. Petrowski walked right into a clean shot, dropped him. I think it was a little bit of an early stoppage. Agree or disagree?
I thought the stoppage was early. So obviously Petrowski will be able to complain about that, but we were talking on the preview and kind of, I believe we both picked Petrowski, but nonetheless, we both said he looks like he is on his way to prematurely shot. Just how close he is, we aren't sure. That chin might be gone. Like, yeah, the stoppage was quick, but the way he went down from the first punch was that was Chuck Liddell like.
Yeah, I'm also worried about his wrestling. I don't think he can wrestle anymore. I mean, he'd even try. I mean, you're going against a guy that's a foot taller than you, huge range. And I know this was quick, so it's like, I don't know, it was about 3 minutes in, but he wasn't trying to close the distance. He didn't try shooting hips. And that's a huge part of his game. So, yeah. Roasted, I mean, I know I keep being broken record. Like, do you believe in this guy? Obviously, he starts comparing himself to Izzy Adesanya. It's like, I don't know if the second coming of Izzy Israel Adesanya is going to be a white dude, but maybe. I don't know. He's like, oh, we're both 6'5", we're both 185, and I'm like, really,
dude?
Like,
I good on him. Dream big, aim for the stars, but that is not going to age well.
I will say this though. I mean, obviously, he did get a tough test in his UFC debut. He is the same height as Izzy, but he's a lot thicker. He is not. He's more built like Alex Bejeda.
Yeah, he's bigger. He's bigger than his regional tape even showed. Yeah,
he's a big dude. I mean, he made Andre Petrowski look small. I've been next to Andre Petrowski multiple times. I mean, he's a Northeast guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a small human, and he made him look small. Anyways, I guess I put a star up, like a little arrow up, like someone to watch a little bit. I mean, we liked him we said that there was a possibility he could beat Petrowski. So, Jamie Malarkey took on Rolando Bedoya, winning by unanimous decision. Whatever. Give me a whatever.
Whatever. I mean,
good.
I'm mostly concerned with what happened to Jamie Malarkey's eyebrows? Why are his eyebrows like white and bushy now? He looks like a cartoon character that got like hit by an avalanche. Like some Looney Tunes character, gets hit by a huge snowball rolling down a hill, and they come up and their faces look normal except their eyebrows are all covered in snow. That's what the hell happened? It's so weird. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that.
Something you see in Roger Rabbit.
Robert
Rabbit played a prank on him. So he was beating Bedoya just by they made it seem like it was he had this master game plan. It was just he was striking. When Bedoya started to open up striking, he'd shoot on his hips. It was pretty basic. I hated the Bedoya's comeback in the third. To me, he needed a finish, and he's shown no urgency. I remember there was 60 seconds left, and he throws a low kick, and he throws a jab. He jabs and steps back. He's goes in, jabs, steps back out. I'm like, dude, you need to stop it. Your corner told you this too. It wasn't you had close rounds, and he tried a standing guillotine. I'm not a big jump to guillotine, but when you're down 2-0, go for it. I was just like, what are you doing, dude? He never, he was had success with the striking. I feel like he never bit down and all right, dude. I'm gonna try to challenge him. I'm gonna point. If I'm him, I'm Max Holloway. I'm pointing to down. Let's throw down. Let's challenge him. Hey, this is your country. Get the crowd into it, and maybe I catch him. He didn't do anything. He's jabbing and.
Which is so weird because his problem all along has been that he's so reckless.
Yeah,
when it's time to just really go for it, yeah,
throw a flying knee, do something. A spinning back fist, something. The best fight of the night, not necessarily what happened, but anytime you get Thickness versus the Lion King, Mousasa. Kobe Thickness beat Josiah Mousasa by unanimous decision. I mean, it was a wild fight, especially the first round.
This fight was a good, terrible fight.
Oh, yeah, it was so bad.
I'm gonna get killed for saying this. I'm gonna get fired from the show for saying this. But it almost felt like a low-level women's fight because.
All right, as he said, he got fired for that. I'm just kidding.
Neither of them had any answer for what the other guy could do.
That was
when they were on the feet, Mousasa was tagging the shit out of Thickness over and over again. But Thickness literally did the Mackenzie Dern double leg where he just bent at the waist and ran slowly at him from 6 feet away and got him down. And the last 90 seconds of the first round, Thickness has Mousasa down. Mousasa has no idea what to do. Thickness is in full mount. like first pounding him, then trying to choke him. Mousasa, he's doing nothing. He's not creating space. He's not trying to get his hips out. He's literally laying on his back. He's not blocking punches. He's not defending the choke. He's just kind of kicking his legs like someone losing a fight at the playground. And in 90 seconds of that, Thickness couldn't finish him. It felt like watching two unranked women's flyweights go, where you can instantly tell which is the better fighter, but you know there's not going to be a finish. Like,
the first round was so wild. Mousasa was destroying him the first, like you said, 3.5 minutes. I'm like, oh man, he's gonna put him out. To suddenly take him down, having him out, like to the point where not only did I switch my score from Mousasa to Thickness, he dominated so bad on the ground, I gave him a 10-8 round.
There you go.
After getting his ass handed to him for like 4 minutes. And I'm sitting there and he gets kicked in the dick in the third. Things started going his right way. And
you mean he got kickness in the dickness by Colby Thickness?
There you go.
Thank you.
There you go. He's against the cage. He's winning this round. He's going to win the fight because I know I was the only person who went 10-8 for Thickness. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching him. He has an underhook, and Thickness is trying to wrap around, and he's got an underhook. And he would let go. He'd get the underhook out. And he'd reach over around the shoulder. I'm like, dude, put the underhook back in. That's what's keeping you from. And he'd grab it again. And I'm like, I don't know. I have this thing where I like watch fights and someone's with me. I can like coach him through the wrestling. Like, I just have to do it. I call wrestling moves, and my wife's like, they can't hear you. And I'm like, But I was speaking to spirit to him, and he just kept taking the underhook out. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? If he took the underhook out and started like pushing down on the back, doing something, but he took the underhook out to do these like little weak rabbit punches. And before the takedown turn, I turned to my wife. He said he just got taken down. He's about to lose, and then boom, he was taken down. And I said, fight's over. He just lost.
Yeah, it's just
and he was absolutely like his ground made Urslan look like Charles Oliveira. Mm-hmm. It was that he didn't even understand to elevate your hips, trying to bounce the guy like you're you're freaking mechanical bull trying to get him. He just laid there.
No, it was Rebellis to Spain stuff where once someone shot on his hips and took him down, it looked as if he had literally never trained those positions.
No.
And again, I'm not a pro fighter. I train at the gym. I see some, but just it's literal day one stuff. What do you train if you don't know what to do in that position? Because these are all common positions. It's not they found themselves in some weird, 50-50 position. These are just the most basic takedown and takedown defense positions.
There's a kid on my son's wrestling. He's little. Oh God, he's got to be 7 or 8. He's I don't know. He's not learning much in wrestling. He's not interested. We're drilling. He's run over to this person. He's run over that. He's he don't really care. But he's living his life. He's 8, 7. I don't know. But when they live wrestle, he knows one thing. When he gets taken down, that's all he'll do. He gets taken down. He'll lay on his stomach. He'll tuck his hands in and just hold him there. He don't care about getting out. He just you're not gonna get his hands. He's gonna tuck him under it reminds me of millions of criminals I've had to wrestle in my day, and they start tucking their hands underneath. They're you're not a wrestler. That's what he does. Do that. At least that he's showing some kind of intelligence. Yeah, I know they want my arm, so I'm not gonna give it to him. Look, what does Mousasa do? Nothing.
Let me throw an idea out here.
He looked going back to the Lion King. He looked like Nala was holding him down. He couldn't get up the bottom. I think the real Mousasa had a bet. At least he was trying to get up the wall. You know, trying to get away. He was he just gave up and let the herd run him right over.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sorry, not anymore. Lion King.
It's not that these guys suck or they have no upside. Because in fact, they do both have upside. They do something at a UFC level. They do something at a UFC level.
He's bad.
Neither of them is ready for prime time. They look like two guys in their 20s that have like 12 or fewer professional fights. These guys should be like, Thickness should be in Hex Fight Series right now, and Mousasa should be in LFA or like, you know, EFC for another 18 months and 5 fights, and then see where they are.
He should be at my son's early. They have a beginners class, and my son's like, "Dad, why didn't you bring me to the beginners class? I'm not a beginner." And I'm like, "Cause you're still 10 and you should be working on stance and always like that's what he should be doing. He should be at my man Sam Flood's class."
Yeah, like,
I Thickness to me, I don't. He looks like he's in the UFC because the UFC owed Alex Volkanovski a favor for fighting Makhachev on like a week's notice.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, let's take a break.
Okay.
We're gonna do this one quick. This is the time where we stop talking about fights and we talk about ourselves because we're egomaniacs. The Know Your Host question, and the reason why I thought of this one today, I don't think we've done this one, so that's why I thought of it. They're in Australia. That is my wife's dream vacation. Like, that's where she wants to go before she dies. What is your dream vacation, Ben? And we'll throw it to the chat. Everyone say, and this is one place you haven't been to. I don't want like, I've been to my dream vacation.
Yeah.
Well, then add a new one to the list. So we'll throw it in the chat. We'll read out anybody's dream vacations, and one lucky listener will actually win a vacation. No, I'm just kidding.
Look under your chair right now, everybody. Yeah, I've been thinking about this since we texted back and forth a few hours ago. It would be cheating to say, oh, 6 weeks in Europe so I can go to these 8 different countries that I'm dying to go to. Like, single destination.
Oh, great. Oh, that's cheating. Okay.
Hold on.
All right, I can change my answer real quick.
Single destination. I have always wanted to do like a distillery tour of Scotland, like go to like different Scotch distilleries. Like, one, I like Scotch, but even leaving that aside, just it seems like a beautiful country. I kind of like history. I like old castles. I like people that talk like Groundskeeper Willie. Like, yeah, give me a Scotland in the summer.
What is the coolest place you have been to? Because I know you're a world traveler.
I don't know, world traveler, but I mean, I spent a couple years in South America. I was in Ecuador, stood with one leg in each hemisphere and got the picture taken.
That's kind of cool.
You know, I was born in Vietnam, so a lot of people think it's a beautiful country. I don't know. I don't know that I've been to that many cool places. Like, I've been to all the cool cities in the continental US, except Providence. Yeah,
Wait, say that you've been to all the capital? What?
All the cool cities in the U.S. except for
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you said like you went to all the capitals except for Rhode Island. I was like, really? That's it? 30C West has said who doesn't want to go vacation in Rhode Island and see all the locations in the TV show Brotherhood. My friend Larry was actually a character in Brotherhood, so I've never seen the show. Shows you what kind of good friend I am. Dev says Alaska. Alaska's he wants to go on a cruise to Alaska and go salmon fishing. Alaska is a very popular destination for when people say dream vacation. I know people go to Europe and stuff. I like nature. I connect. I always say that I find God when I'm out in nature. That's when I feel closest to God. And it's gonna sound like my dream vacation is gonna be kind of corny. I'd like to get an RV and do like a road trip through America, like right here in America. But I want to do a lot of the big parks that I haven't been to. You know, the national parks. Like I've been to Kings Canyon, but I haven't been to the Grand Canyon. Like I'd love to see the Grand Canyon. I'd love to go to Yosemite. I'd love to go to Yellowstone. I want to go through the Rocky Mountains. That's what I'd want to do.
Well, here's the thing. Like, when you asked, this question, I mentioned the place I wanted to go basically for like the history and the culture and the food and drink. But when I think of my favorite places that I have been, it's mostly places with natural beauty. Like I spent a good portion of my adulthood living in Utah in the Rocky Mountains. I've been to the Grand Canyon and Bryce Canyon and Zion Canyon, which is kind of like the circuit down there in southern Utah, northern Arizona, a million times. Like my dad grew up driving tour buses through those canyons. Like he drove a tour bus through the Grand Canyon, Zion Canyon, Bryce Canyon for summers throughout like college.
Like that can't get old.
It never got old.
I'm sure it will, but like having the other people's reaction every single day.
Yeah, and he could still give you the tour bus spiel as he's driving us through those parks, like 30 years later. No, like cool. I love, I love nature. My favorite places I have been are mostly places that are, beautiful.
Yeah, like my favorite place has been Hawaii, and there were some really cool moments. Obviously, the beach, and I went cage diving with sharks and all that kind of stuff. But still, like I think my favorite thing was on a hike out in the mountains in the mountain area. It wasn't the mountains, but in Hawaii was still the coolest moment for me. And kind of secluded place. It was just me and my wife there. It was awesome. But yeah, I'd love to take like 2 weeks and hit all. Yeah, obviously I can't hit all the. Be a lot of driving, but
like I've never done Yosemite as an adult like I did as a kid. But it takes you more than a day to drive through. I barely remember it because I was like 7. But yeah, I'd love to do that.
I remember when we were driving. So we kind of spent 2 weeks in California, and we started in San Francisco. We went to Sequoia and Kings Canyon, and then we went into LA and went Anaheim and San Diego, and we didn't do we wanted to do it, but Yosemite was way off. We were starting it. We were definitely going to San Francisco, and we spent a week in San Diego, and then I kind of regret that we didn't go to Yosemite. But anyways, while we were driving at towards like Kings Canyon, there's this. I'm coming around the mountain, and I see this. I come around and I see this incredible mountain. My wife's sleeping, and I go, holy shit. And I go, oh no, I gotta wake her up. She has to see this. So I'm like, honey, wake up. Look. And she's like, holy shit. And I'm like, this is incredible. And then she she kind of falls back asleep. And we come around a bend, and there's another one. I'm like, oh my God, look at this. And I wake her up. I do this about 3 or 4 times. There was absolutely no reason for me to wake her up because we were looking at those mountains for about 4 hours. But the first 20 minutes, I just get waking her up like, oh my God, babe, look at this one. So, anyways, so people had a couple on I-90 and drive west is going to the. He was devastating. Went to the Grand Canyon when it was snowing.
Northern Arizona, the high desert gets really cold in the winter. Yeah.
It's funny because I would want to go to nature in America, but if I was going in out of the country, which obviously the rainforest and all shit like that would be incredible, but I want to go to Rome or Italy and Roman Colosseum and all that stuff. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, no. Yeah, someone once told me the difference between Europe and America is in Europe they think a 5,000 foot tall mountain is high, and in America they think a 200-year-old building is old. It'd be
all right, so we'll see. We'll have to start checking some of those off when the UFC holds a card in Rome. Then Sherdog's gonna fly us out for that.
Outstanding.
So let's get back to the action. One of the fights that I actually was pretty intrigued by, and one of the ones I think piqued my interest, or probably if it lived up to my interest, I should say, was Luana Carolina welcoming newcomer Michelle Montague. How do I say her last name?
Montague.
Yeah, I'm really screwed that one up. Sorry about that. Montague winning by unanimous decisions. Montague has a lot of improvements she needs to do on the feet. Her striking is very raw, but her ground game, I like a lot. I like the way she was wrestling. I like the way how she was just freaking bullying Luana. I'm watching this girl, and I'm thinking she's
the poor woman's Kayla.
She could be an issue in that division too for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Agree?
Well, we do need to. There are a couple things we need to deal with. Like Carolina, for as good a fighter as she is, like just talking about her talent level, is about as favorable a style matchup as you could possibly get for Montague.
Sure.
Someone coming up from the division below who had bad takedown defense in that division and is a slick striker, but without huge one-shot power. And despite the lack of one-shot power, as Bob Timpson points out, she hurt her. So there are some things to take back to the drawing board, but all I needed out of this fight was that Montague could make 135 and seem to be more or less the same woman she was 15 months ago in PFL. Both of those things are a yes.
Luana coming up a weight doesn't really matter to me because she's not small. Like, she's not a small 135 pounder, you know? So, but I'm watching Montague and I'm saying just being able to grapple with the ability she has to takedowns in that division, to me, she looks like a top 10 fighter already.
Well, I made the joke, but it was more of an exaggeration than a farce. Like, she might have been in the top 15 the moment she stepped in the cage. There just aren't many women in that division that have actually fought in the last year.
Yeah. If 145 was still around, she'd be fighting for the title.
Mm-hmm.
So overshadowed it when bad referee moments. We had a great referee moment and a terrible referee moment in the same moment. In my opinion, was when the referee, I don't remember who was, Luana upkicked Montague in the face when she was clearly down. Got it clean. No, as clean of a kick to the face you can get. I was like, wow, this referee's fantastic. He took a point. He right a minute said, well, you can't upkick and get someone that clean. No hard one, none of that shit. I'm taking a point. And I'm like, all right, fantastic. Like, way to go. Oh, and then, but we're going to put you back on the feet. And like, what? So the girl who wants to keep the fighting girl gets kicked in the face and she doesn't get back on top position. So it's like, oh my God. Like, we just can't have nice things in MMA.
We can't. It's the worst of both worlds because the UFC goes to a place like Australia and they bring the worst. They like bring the Sal Diamatos and Junichiro Kamijos of the world with them. And then Steve Percival. I mean, Steve Percival's probably Australia's best ref, but that's
it was Steve Percival. Yeah.
Yeah. That's still what you get. You know,
I was just, I went from like so happy to sad in an instant.
Well, especially because that's an unforced error. It's not like you blew a call in the split second. Like, you broke them up. You had a moment to make a decision, and then you did something that refs have known not to do for like literally 15 years now.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't penalize the fouled fighter in the restart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stats reminds me of something. Every sport has it, bro. I'm at a freaking soccer game. My son's soccer game. Oh, God, I fucking hate it. Oh my! I can't even hide how much I hate it. And I love my son, so I was him there, and he's pretty good. Like, he's just a good athlete. If he can get my older daughter's work ethic, the sky's the limit for that kid. But anyways, I'm watching soccer. I don't really know the rules, but like, I know they're little kids. I learn what offsides is. I know don't touch the ball with your hands. You know.
Okay, so yeah, you know the basics.
And like, our team has like, I don't know, it's like a fast break or whatever. But like, we're near the goalie, and a kid on our team gets like tripped or something, and he falls down. But the ball kind of goes to his teammate, and it's like my son, maybe like three kids on our team near the goal, and like a defender and the goalie. And I'm like, we got the advantage right now. But our kid fell down and he's like freaking acting like he got freaking died. And that was one of every 5 seconds kids doing it. But they blew the whistle because the kid got hurt. And I'm like, but we have the advantage right now. Like, that's our guy who got hurt. Why are you stopping it? Like, if the goalie like catches it or something, then pause, everyone take a knee, pray, like see if this kid will make it. We get the helicopter down. He might have to get airlifted out here. The kid fell on grass. You know,
Did they have to medevac the 9-year-old out of there?
Yeah, he weighed 70 pounds. Fell on grass. But I'm like, is that how it works in soccer? Like, if someone gets hurt, they stop no matter what. Like, no matter what's
No,
going on.
like sometimes they'll just kind of leave them there. Like,
okay, so is that like a little kid rule?
I think. Well, and it used to be that way, kind of in soccer, but I think they've become more aware of the mystique or like the stigma about players flopping, and refs will more often, like, if they think someone's fake, you just kind of like leave them. Yeah.
But even if they're not faking and they're really hurt, will they stop? If they really are,
like if someone really is, like they'll stop. There's an injury, timeout. Soccer matches, of course, they don't stop between plays. They do a certain amount of injury time after like the 45-minute half is over to account for that.
If you automatically stop when someone gets hurt, what's stopping me from getting hurt when Ronaldo's about to score for?
You got to come. Then you got to come out.
Oh, I have to come out. But if it's a tie game and Ronaldo scores to win the game, why wouldn't I fake an injury right now to stop the play, right?
Yeah, but if you're injured and on the field away from the action, like if Ronaldo's already zipping down the field, they'll just leave you there until the play plays out.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what they should have did. We had our freaking kids about to score. Anyways, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But I just want to say every single freaking sport has some issues, and soccer sucks. All right. Speaking of like being like happy and then instantly sad, that's what I felt like when I heard the Alicia Ellison like story about him wanting to kill himself, and I'm like, well, the good news is you didn't kill yourself. The bad news is Brando Perisic is going to do it for you.
That was
what a mismatch.
This was a horrible mismatch, and considering that Ellison wanted to strike, like this was the kind of fight he wanted, for him to be so overmatched was bad. My thought was, I see Chase Hooper in the corner. Is he the striking coach there now? Like
he was how do I is it
Perisic? Yeah.
He couldn't miss. He was landing, and he was landing hard. He was landing so hard, a heavyweight pulled guard.
Yeah.
The same Fabrizio Verdum in 2002 pulling guard. What? I just said that was a bad idea, and he was out 15 seconds later.
Yeah, like pulling guard on a guy that has 30 pounds and probably 6 inches of reach on you, it sounds like a terrible idea. He's going to pound you senseless from guard. Like, guard is not a safe place in that sense.
No.
Don't do it. Yeah, that was sporting in the sporting sense only, suicidal. Like, that's.
I was having a online debate. I can't believe I was making this argument. I was arguing who should win the AL MVP, Cal Riley guy or Aaron Judge. And being a Red Sox fan, you wouldn't think I'd say Aaron Judge, but I said because got him by 200 points in OPS. Like, what are you talking about? How is this even an argument? It's Aaron Judge. Anyways, the guy I'm arguing with is arguing something. He's like, well, that's like, somehow we get way off the rails. And he's like, well, that's like saying, when he's talking about defense, I'm like, oh, defense is overrated. And it's like the best defensive guy in a position versus the average guy is not that big of a gap. Anyways, but he's like, oh, that's like a casual thing. That'd be like someone saying, jiu-jitsu is not effective in MMA. And I'm like, wow, now that you bring it up, like, bad example. And the first fight, our girl Loma Lumumi got beat up by Alexa Thainara. Thainara looked awesome. She won a unanimous decision. Big thing to me was the fight IQ. She knew what her best advantage was, to close the distance, get the fight to the ground any way possible. Loma was the opposite. Loma needed to move more, stay away from the cage. There was times where she had chances to disengage, and she actually came back in and engaged in the grapple. I'm like, what are you doing, Loma? What do you have to say?
Yeah, no, that's, and we mentioned this before when we were talking about the Dominick Reyes fight all the way back up at the top of this card, where yeah, it didn't work for him against Yuri Prohaska, but I could see what he was trying to do, and it was the right idea. Like here, I'm not sure what Loma was trying to do. Like I can't point to, okay, what was your game plan and how did you think it was going to carry you to victory against this fighter? Like she was an underdog for a reason. Tainara was bigger. Stylistically, it wasn't a great matchup, but Tainara did exactly what she needed to do to win this fight decisively and with a minimum of risk to herself. I'm not sure what Loma was trying to do. Like she would have had to thread a needle anyway, because you're going against a bigger fighter that wants an infight on you. Like you're going to have a tough time kind of finding the right distance. But yeah, it was bad. And Tainara, she did what you need to do as a minus 250 favorite to actually raise your stock, because she beat her everywhere. Like she bullied her in the clinch and in the wrestling. Marked her up on the feet. Like Loma's lost worse, but I'm not sure she's been beat up worse many times. Like,
yeah, she had some moments very early in, when she was kicking, first minute or so. But as soon as Tainara got it down, it was okay. Obviously, I'm so much better here. This is where I got to go. And then she started getting super creative with her takedowns. At one point, she like grabbed the leg and rolled underneath the hip just to pull her down. And when she had her back, she jumped off the cage to pull her into like her guard, like kind of, get her to the ground. I was just like, wow, I like she's like, I gave all right. She's going up. She's someone that I definitely look forward to in the future. I gotta answer and he's not gonna like this answer, but I gotta answer this question from my man Antonio. He keeps asking, how would a guy like Babe Ruth do playing modern? This is what I feel. I don't want to say this. Babe Ruth to me is the greatest baseball player of all time. This is how I compare who's the greatest or whatever. I compare them at their era, how dominant were they at their era compared to how other people were dominant in current eras.
Yeah,
that's how I view the best. That said, modern day athletes are so much more advanced than people, especially 100 years ago when Babe Ruth played. And the simple argument is that there's things that you can measure. Obviously, how a baseball player you can't, but you can do. Look at the top track star from that time compared to track stars now.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that set the record in 40-yard dash, the 100-yard dash, whatever, in 1920.
High schoolers blister him now. Yeah.
Exactly. He couldn't qualify for to even be to do the race. So, but that still doesn't mean Babe Ruth's the greatest baseball player of all time. Yeah. People ask me this. I'll give one. Sorry, I'm gonna let you jump in. I'm adamant about. People say, who's the greatest athlete ever? And I said, well, it depends on what do you want by athlete. Is it who dominated their sport better than any person dominated their sport? I'm gonna say Tom Brady. Or like
Alexander Carrello.
Yeah. However, are you talking about who's the best athlete, like can play multiple sports, like overall athlete? If you're thinking like that,
yeah.
The argument it's Jim Thorpe, and there's no argument otherwise. If you say otherwise, you're an idiot.
Look up Jim Thorpe. Was the best in the world at like literally every sport he tried.
Every single sport he tried.
Football, basketball, baseball, won the decathlon at the Olympics. Like literally everything. Yeah.
Yeah. People like, Bo Jackson could have been a great football player. Jim Thorpe was a Hall of Fame football player.
Yep.
Anyways, but again, different eras, different, but you were going to say something good.
And I dropped an answer for Antoine in there as well. Like it's a different sport. Like the most effective pitches today didn't even exist then. Like there was the fastball, the curveball, the changeup, and all the balls had like mud and like Vaseline and shit on them because like people cheated like mad back then. Like the equipment was different. He wore flannels and swung a 48-ounce bat. The mound was short. Like it's a different sport. But you take Babe Ruth 100 years later, you give him like actual modern nutrition. You don't let him just drink beer and eat hot dogs the morning of a game. With his general athleticism, his eye intelligence, hand-eye coordination, he probably would have been a decent baseball player. But he wouldn't have been hitting 60 home runs when the number 2 person in the league had 18. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly. So I coach wrestling, and it's been 20 years, 20 plus years since I was a competitive wrestler. And in just 20 years watching wrestling, I feel like I wrestled a different style of wrestling than we have today. Like it's a different sport. That's how quick sports can advance.
Yeah. You just talked about Verdum. Like when people like Verdum went back to like Abu Dhabi, like 10 years later, and like people are just doing leg locks that didn't even, like.
That's just how it is. Anyway, so there you guys, we've covered all 12 fights. We went off the rails a little bit. I mean, we can get off the rails a little bit on this card because
what the hell else we're going to talk about this card stuff?
Yeah, next week obviously we'll have a lot more to talk about being a pay-per-view. But let's get to the fun stuff, the Bulls, the Bears, the cut list. Dude, seriously. Let's do the Bulls and Bears first.
Okay.
The Bulls and Bears are a stock market reference. You want to be on the Bulls list, you don't want to be on the Bears list. We do it hockey style 3, 2, 1. Let's do Bulls first. So the Bulls, you want to be on the list. This is a good list. You mind if I go first?
Go for it.
All right. My number 3 Bull. I'm gonna go with the woman we just talked about, Tainara. And I apologize, I might be saying her name a little wrong.
That's perfect. Yep.
She's now 2-0 in the UFC. She's beaten 2 quality opponents. She looks better and better each time. You were talking about, she was a big favorite, and she looked even more dominant than what her line said. She looks like a future top 10 or higher fighter.
Yep.
My number 2, I'm going to go with Cam Roston. He's UFC debut, fighting a tough guy like Andre Petrosky again. He might be washed, and I understand that. He still lamped the guy. He got a first-round knockout and was a little corny in the mic, but believable. Like or not believable, but like rememberable, I should say.
Memorable, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And my number 1, I think it's a pretty obvious pick. Roston fits in this category. The Australian New Zealand combination, they went 10-1 on the night, with the only loss being Jake Matthews and a very controversial. You know what? Let's call it 11-1. We'll give or maybe we'll cut that in half. Or really good, really good night for the Australia New Zealand connection. Ben, what do you have?
Completely agree with those. In fact, Ralston and Australian New Zealander fighters in general were both on my list. Like, worth noting, and credit to Jay Petrie for pointing this out. 10-1 is actually worse than like the French fighters did at UFC Paris, and it's about the same as like the Latino fighters did at Noche UFC. Like, the UFC has done a good job recently of putting out matchups that delight the hometown crowd without it being a bunch of like minus 800 favorites. Like, these have been smart matchups that have mostly just kind of turned out well.
Can we do that with the White House card and make America look good? Can we like stack up American and have us go like 11-1 or some shit?
I expect something like that will happen. And the biggest question will be, okay, if we let John Jones on this card, does it make America look good if he wins or loses? Do we just match him against another American? It's like, but anyway, so I won't add 3 to that. I will just throw in Michelle Montague. Like I say,
yeah,
it may not seem like much. 3rd from the bottom, beat a woman moving up to 135 for the first time, but Michelle Montague might be fighting for a title a year from now.
Yeah,
she's 2 wins away from a title shot right now. And then I'll throw in Neil Magny. It wasn't pretty. It may end up being a no contest, but Magny is gonna Magny. Like, my dreams are haunted by 3rd round Neil Magny just coming to knock my block off.
Dude's the man. All right, let's go to the Bears. This is the list you do not want to be on. I'm going to go first again. Dominick Reyes, not a good night. Nothing went right. Ended the winning streak. I still think a lot of people, other than maybe Dev, didn't really believe in the winning streak. And I think a lot of people would call him fraud checked. I haven't been on Twitter, but I feel like that's what people would be saying. And he was never really back. He was never that good. My number 2, I feel bad putting this guy on my list, but that division, you can't afford a loss. Jake Matthews, 3-fight winning streak. Everything was going right. Yeah, the whole referee controversy there. But you know what? You're up 2 rounds to nothing in the third, and goddamn Magny, like you still lost it yourself. So I don't want to give you too much of a pass. So Jake Matthews, and my number one, Andre Petrowski. Like this is a guy not that long ago was like a kind of a dark horse contender. You know, like not a top 10 guy or something, but like one guy like people like, yeah, he's starting to win, and maybe he'll make a run. And man, 2 horrendous showings in a row. So that's my number one, Bear. What do you
got? I certainly agree with all of those. I will throw in Ramon Tavarz. The fight itself was fun. That's the only saving grace here, because there is a special kind of bad to moving up in weight and missing that weight class too. Like I can only think of a handful of fighters in UFC history that have done that, and they're not people you want to pattern your professional life after.
No.
Like that's
Brian
bad stuff. That's Brian Battle. That's Rumble Johnson.
Kelvin
moving up from 170 to 185 and then weighing in at 197 and getting your ass kicked like that.
Who's that guy? The New England guy. What was his name? Manny Bermudez.
Yes.
Oh, remember he just kept missing weight over and over again. Yes.
So I throw him out there, and I'll also throw out Josias Mousasa. He went from, okay, this is a guy with some upside and some stuff to fix, to I don't care how talented he is at the few things he does well. I don't trust him to beat any 135er in the UFC. And in fact, most of the decent 125ers could probably take him.
Oh, he went from being promised all the land that the light touches to your adopted kid. You don't get shit.
Go back to eat bugs with Pumbaa and Timon. Like those are the only ones I wanted to add.
All right, let's go right into the cut list. The cut list. If both me and Ben agree that the UFC should let somebody go, they get the boot. We give them permissions, but they got to be on both mine and Ben's lists. Ben, I got 4.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 as well. We'll see if you're the same 4.
Let's hear your first one.
Rolando Bedoya. This one was closer. He's still winless in the UFC, and he couldn't get past Malarkey on a bad night for Malarkey.
Like, yeah. 0-4 in the UFC. See you later. Yeah. What's your next one?
Ivan Urslan. Like, you went quick this time, dude. Like, he's bad at what he's bad at, and he's not good enough at what he's good at to make hay in the UFC. Like, watching him in KSW, I was like, oh, this guy could settle in at least as kind of a Modestas Bukauskas type, where he might not be a top 10 guy, but he can hang. He can't hang. Like, just, he's a kickboxer that can't kickbox well enough, and his ground game sucks. He's 0-3 in the UFC. Time to go.
Yeah, he's gone. I just realized I had a note. I have 5 guys. I had 1 on the side, but yes, he's gone. He's the one I couldn't fit on my paper, and I wrote it over in the different spot. So yes, he's gone.
I am letting go of. Am I letting go? Give me just a sec here. Let me. Yeah, I'm letting go of Rodolfo Bellator. Like, at this point, he's 1-0-2 in the UFC with 1 no contest. Like, I'm actually letting Rodolfo Bellator go.
Oh, I didn't have Bellator on my list.
Wow.
I did not.
Here's my curveball. I'm firing Justin Tafa. He's missed weight twice at heavyweight. Like, yeah, I know he got sick today, but
he's
like, dude, you're 6 feet tall. You're 6 feet tall. Like, you're now the only. Yeah, you're basically the only fighter ever to miss the UFC heavyweight limit twice.
Yeah,
This is ridiculous.
And he's not like he's worth keeper, not like he's good or like even top. There's like Curtis Blades, but like he's not a fan favorite. Like he wins. Like no.
Brock Lesnar never missed weight in the UFC. Greg Hardy, as terrible a person as he was, never missed weight in the UFC. We're talking about actual gigantic fucking dudes.
Yeah, I stood 3 feet from Hardy. He's a big boy.
Yeah, so have I. If we'd had more time tonight, I would have told my my UFC backstage story with him and Dominick Reyes. But anyway,
yes, we went from having having 2 Tavarz on the card to 0 in about a week. So so yes, I didn't think of putting Tavarz because I wasn't thinking about people outside, but yes, 100% get rid of him. You saved Mousasa. He's terrible. I was getting rid of him.
Dude, I'd be fine if they cut him and Thickness and just said, dude, go back, win 3 or 4 fights, come back. You don't even have to do the contender series. We'll bring you straight back, maybe a short notice thing, but just you're not ready. You're not ready.
Another guy you saved. He's only on a 2-fight losing streak, but I think he's washed, and he's never really he's never been a guy that people like. Andre Petrosky.
So Petrosky versus Battle 2 in PFL is what we're going to get.
Go. And then another guy you saved, and this was just he missed weight. I didn't think he looked terrible tonight, but you missed weight in 2 different weight classes. Just like we're not doing this, dude.
Yeah.
See you later.
Tavarz. Yep.
I was getting rid of Tavarz.
And you know what? No, I'm totally on board with that. I forgot about him, but if you miss weight in 2 different weight classes, if you miss weight twice in 3 fights, the question then becomes, why should we keep you? And there's just nothing there.
And then you're losing fights. Like you lost to Davey Grant. I mean, in fairness, like losing to Davey Grant and Jack Jenkins in back-to-back fights, like those are some tough dudes, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So if he made weight and had a performance he did tonight, I'd be like, okay, like I thought he did fine. Like against as good as you can do against a guy like Jack Jenkins, where you're clearly outmatched and skill wise, but like was still like showed he's a tough dude.
Mm-hmm. He's like
listen, I'm not getting on anybody's weight. Like my doctor be like, hey, you gotta eat a little better, maybe eat some, eat some like I don't know, fruit in the morning. And I'm like, all right. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go eat fruit. I come back with like donuts. And they're like, what? I'm like, well, they are apple cider donuts, So anyways, all right, let's get to Dude Seriously. Dude Seriously is just us. I don't know, picking fun at things that happened tonight. So, do you have some Dude Seriouslys?
I mean, we've been over a few of them already. Just the reffing after the kickness to the dickness on Mousasa. I think the refs missed like the next 4 groin fouls across the rest of the card. It's kind of ironic that they missed all the fouls down under on this card. That was a little surprising. What is the name of the new kind of stand-up woman they have?
What'd you say? What's the name of the what?
The new woman they have doing kind of stand-up and interstitial things.
Oh,
the woman doing the Heidi Androl stuff tonight.
Yeah, the blonde girl. She does the count. She does the the weigh-in show. She does the food eating with a weigh-in show.
Like if
I wonder how she got a job.
I'm sure that she was just reading prepared stuff off a teleprompter off a card, but for her saying like, Ramon Tavarz is, he's focused and dialed in and, like just turned a whole new leaf professionally. And we're talking about a guy who like missed weight, moving up in weight. And like, dude, seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I got a couple of Dude Seriously for you. Ellison getting fired from the police department. Like, dude, seriously, like, what'd you do? Come on. Like, you can't just say I got fired and then not tell us why. Like, come on, dude, seriously.
Yeah.
What is it?
Dominick Reyes says we've seen some of that earlier tonight at 8 a.m. in Australia.
Oh, fuck. He's the worst. He's terrible. I mean, we could just change dude seriously to like Dominisms.
Dom seriously.
Yeah. He's gotten worse and worse. Like he used to give shit about DC about not doing research.
Yeah.
Which leads me to right into Dominick Reyes saying, speaking about Bellator and saying, hey, you shouldn't punch him in the head because he can really take punches over and over. He can take a lot of shots to the head. This is the guy who couldn't continue to fight after getting struck in the head by Paul Craig. Like, dude, seriously? You gotta talk about how hard of a head he has, dude, seriously? But my favorite dude, seriously, my man Mousasa had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the fight. He kept asking to take a leak. Dude, seriously?
Yeah.
And you know the greatest thing was? The most MMA thing ever would have been if they like pulled out like a cup or something and he got that little I don't know, thing they wear in the weigh-ins, the little like
the little hoop
shield,
or the curtain.
the little hoop shield thing that they have, and just let them piss right in the middle of the mat. That like, dude, seriously. Ben, do we have the awards?
We certainly should. Yes, we have 4 performances of the night, no fight of the night.
Okay. Carlos Ulberg, no brainer. I'm giving it Carlos Ulberg. I'm gonna give it to Roastin. I'm gonna give it to Crute. Because you mentioned it. He went straight Iron Sheik camel clutch submission.
Yeah.
And I mean, now the floor is busy all the way to the heavyweight, the early card, Perisius, how do we say his name? That's the 4.
Yeah, Perisic. Yeah.
Who would you give it to?
Ulberg for sure. Crute. I'd give one to Magny, and I would give one to Perisic. What we got was Carlos Ulberg for his first round knockout of Dominick Reyes. We got Jimmy Crute for his quick submission of Ivan Arslan. We got Tom Nolan for surviving a wild one against Charlie Campbell, and then choking him out late in the round. And we got Brando Perisic putting away Elisha Ellison in the first round. So I do not have a problem with Nolan getting the performance of the night. I also would have been fine with them giving them fight of the night for all 3 minutes of work that it was.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that too. What was your grade for the card?
D.
Yeah, I was going C. If it ended kind of fun. Like there's some weird, like even like the controversy with Matthews to me, like it still makes it memorable. The way it ended, I give it like a C. All right. Hottest question tonight always is, who's your listener of the night?
You know what? This was practically the Antoine Willis show. He was there before we started. He's been here the whole time rocking. I know he's on your same time zone, so it's an hour later for him than for me. He is just about disqualified from winning these at this point. So is Iman Report, but I will give it to Iman Report, even though he said he would love to have Mauro Ranallo replace Anik when the UFC heads to Paramount. We will just have to agree to disagree because Mauro Ranallo is more shot than Andre Petrosky and Dominick Reyes put together.
Yeah, now Anik's the man. There's only one thing Anik does. Of all his talking, I wish he'd stop doing. Stop saying consensus when it's not a consensus. That's it. I understand he's being a shill for the organization, but don't say the consensus greatest featherweight, Alex Volkanovski, and then the next segment have a thing with people debating who's the greatest of all time. Yeah. Like, that's not a consensus. Tom Brady's a consensus greatest quarterback.
Yeah.
Is there idiots out there who call first? Yes, there's somebody. But generally speaking,
it's funny that he says consensus because, I mean, I know you're specifically thinking about like the whole Volkanovski thing when he said that, but that might be the single division where it's hardest to get a consensus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's my only thing. about him. Everything else, I think he's perfect. And
yeah, I mean, Anik, Felder, definitely. Like Felder is just, he's only getting better and better as they go along. Yeah, like just I'm responding to Ironman Report saying at least give Anik some new color commentators. They're not going to get rid of DC. Like I can tell that they love him. They'll probably let Rogan walk back in whenever he wants to. But yeah.
All right, so there you guys have it. We've covered all 12 fights, UFC Perth. We will be back next week. UFC 320, is it? 320, right?
Yep.
UFC 320, the big rematch. Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira 2. We'll be going in depth in that card, deeper than anybody does it, and then we'll be back recapping next week. So if you never check out the preview, make sure you check that out. Much different than this. It's not live, so this, we do like people commenting, but it's not live. But we go super deep, and then tell your friends. Yeah, put in the comments. Make sure you check out the recap show where we have a lot of fun. People could tell us all the things we did wrong. So thank you guys so much. It's super late. Thank you guys for listening. See you guys next time.